Hello, this is Amin, and you are watching session 13 of ASP.NET Core tutorial. In this session, we are going to talk about developer exception page. If you remember in previous sessions, we were talking about this topic a little bit, but now we are going to detail of a developer exception page, and we are going to describe it in detail in this session. Let's flip to Visual Studio and see what is developer exception page and how we can fix our bugs and problems with these useful tools. This is the project that we have been working throughout this tutorial so far. Developer exception page is handled and served by this middleware, UseDeveloperExceptionPage. And if we have any problem and bugs in a problem, this middleware shows us the developer exception page and shows us the problem that we have in our source code. If you look at the default path, you can see the default path, default controller and action method is home index. Let me throw an exception in the default route of this application. Here I throw an exception and I will send a message, some error happened. And let's run the project and see what happened if we are going to the default route of my project. As expected, the developer exception page comes up and you can see the error that happened in my project. And it has a stack which is related to source code and the reason of the exception. And here you have query string. As I don't have query string here, I don't have anything here. And if we have any cookie, you can see the list of cookies here, and this is the headers this page contains, and the road pattern, and actually the route of this page is home controller and index. If I go to the address and send a query string, for example, A equal 1, 2, 3, and B equal 4, 5, 6, and run the page again, you can see in the query string I have both value for debugging. Let's back to the project. If you remember, we talk about pipeline of ASP.NET Core. If you remember in session 7 of this tutorial, we describe middleware and HTTP pipeline. Here, if you look at the place of this developer page, you can realize it came at the first of my pipeline. Let me bring this piece of code to the end of this method and run the project once more. You can see this time, instead of that informative page, developer exception page, I received one simple page with really less information, and it's just HTTP error 500, and it's nothing especially what is the cause of that error. That's why I should move this developer exception page to first piece of this method, configure method, to handle all exception. And also remember, you should be in development environment. In line setting, I'm in development environment. Let me change it to staging and save it and run the project once more. You can see as I move the middleware in the top of the pipeline, but I still receive 500 error, and that page which doesn't have any useful information. That's why be careful that if you want to receive a developer exception page, you should be in the development environment, or you can change this piece of code to any environment that you want. But normally you should receive this developer exception page in development area and development environment, as I described it before. What is the negative impact of using developer exception page in staging and in production environment? Also, you can modify this middleware. Just bear in mind, if you want to change any middleware, you should use its option file. As you can see, it has two overloaded versions, and in one of them you can customize this middleware with developer exception page options. It has two ways to customize this middleware with option files. First is creating one option file here, and second is create one developer exception page option file here, and within the brackets it has two options: file provider and source code line count. The second one is useful option. For example, you want to have 10 lines before and after the place that error happens. You can set this value to 10, and let me save it and build the project and run the project once more. As you can see, I have 10 lines after and before the place that exception happened, and you can customize it to any number of lines that you want with that file option. I hope this session helped you to understand developer exception page better and use these useful tools to debug your project. Thank you for watching this session. Text version of this session is available in our website, and its link is available in description of this video. And please follow us on our social media accounts. Thank you for watching and being with us.